Boom shakalaka, fam. Boom shakalaka. Right, we're in the strip. My name's Hamez. Welcome back to JRTV. I'm just sorting out the camera because quite clearly I'm not good at YouTube, who can't even set up his own streams. I tried to do a thing on Rance's stream before where we essentially, I had a background. Do you want to see it? So let me see if I can, is it messy? No, I can show you that. So chat, that's my background that I was thinking. Yeah, so that's my couch. That's the background I was going with. But to be honest, I need to make it neater. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get those photos and I'm going to put them on this wall, like here or something. And then I want to get like a sign. There's loads of stuff that I'm doing about the reconstruction on JRTV. Big up to everyone who's tuning in. Please do smash a like on your way in. And also leave a like on all that juicy stuff. Yeah, man, let's get into a good stream. I mean, to be honest, the main news is just all updates on the things that's been happening. So Henderson, Fabinho, and all that stuff. And we're just waiting for them to fully go. And then Lavia is the news that we're all waiting to be complete. Anything else is just a bonus and isn't really being talked about right now. So a centre-back, which we all want, is not necessarily being spoken about and all other factors. So we'll delve into that and the issues and the pros and the cons. You rattle me. Not really. I rattle you more so. And we'll see how it goes, mate. Shout out to Wisdom. Hello, James. Shout out to you, Wisdom. I'm glad that you're in the stream. Big up to you. Big up to You'll Never Walk Alone, even, James, lad. Sorry I missed the last night live. Don't apologise if you miss your stream. I was gone for 3 days, so you probably thought James is on his hiatus again. Never worry about it, mate. And only tune in because you enjoy it. Don't feel like you've got to be here. James, can I go to Angie's with you? Chat, who's Angie? Alejandro, who's Angie? Because if Angie sounds and, you know, like she has the game on and that, I don't mind. Shout out to Lavia as a player. I'm sorry. Shout out to Douglas, who says Lavia is a player. Lavia is a player, and we will definitely talk about him more. The information that we've got to on the Lavia situation, chat, is the fact that we've got a second bid of £45 million awaiting to be answered by Southampton. Now, this was interesting to me, right? Because I did see something about the Caicedo situation. Now, it's not Caicedo being linked to Liverpool, but this Caicedo situation has an impact on Liverpool getting Lavia. So here's what David Ornstein said 1 hour ago. Chelsea's fourth Moises Caicedo proposal to be turned down by Brighton was a 75 million plus 5 million add-on, so an 80 million package. Brighton do not want to sell despite the midfielder's wish to go to Chelsea, also considering alternative options, including Liverpool FC target Romeo Lavia. So what that means is, no, Caicedo's not coming to Liverpool. It means that Romeo Lavia may now become a target for Chelsea if they don't get Caicedo, which is, of course, interesting because we know for a while that Chelsea have been looking into Caicedo. So, chat, what do you think about that? Before we get into the proper debate, what do you think about Chelsea? Are you fearful of Chelsea? Do you think they can swoop in on Lavia? And then if we don't get Lavia, who are we getting? That's a concern. Chelsea, James, this Chelsea Lavia talk could be PR. Now, that's also true. And I think that's important to mention, Zane, is that, you know, PR is always a factor in football. But then Zane, just to make me understand, because I think it can be, who's the PR from? Because that doesn't seem to be, because you're saying the Chelsea Lavia talk could be PR. Is the Chelsea Lavia thing an actual link? And if it's an actual link, then we've got to take it serious. And if they don't actually get Caicedo, which seems to be the case, or may be the case, I mean, also Chelsea have got the incentive of saying to Brighton, listen, we're fine not paying 80 million. You want us to pay, let's say it's 100. You want us to pay 100. We don't want to pay 100. So what we're actually going to do is show you we don't need you, and we're going to go ahead and get the player that we need. It's interesting stuff. But big up to Curtis with a banger of a super chat. Orange super chat, and that big up to you, Curtis. Thank you for financially supporting the strip. And he says, I don't think a player that's motivated by money picks Chelsea over Liverpool. I would question that logic. Now, here's my point. Let's remove money out of the equation. Let's say success. Who's been a more successful team in the Premier League era, chat? Who's been a more successful team in the Premier League era? Let's just say a player's desire is to win, and they look at the last 20 years as a fundamental premise of a team who wins. You say Chelsea, based on history. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying now, and I'm not saying in the past 5 years, but in the Premier League, it's quite clearly Chelsea. So if you're going to say if he believe now, what we need to ask is what project is better, because it's about what's coming up. So is Pochettino's new project with Chelsea going to be a better project than the one we have with Jurgen Klopp? I don't think it will. However, he might not look at it from that same lens. I'm looking at it from the lens of, okay, I believe we've got a better short-term project than Chelsea. But then he might look at it and think, well, Chelsea have got money on money on money to build a new project every season and will therefore probably result in trophies. And that matters. So that's why I'm simply saying that. But money might not actually be the only factor. If he was to choose Chelsea above Liverpool, chat, is that a W or an L? Or have I just shat on my own team without meaning to in the trophy debate? But shout out to Curtis for a very thought-provoking comment, and also an amazing super chat. Thank you, sir. You're a legend. Who cares about 20 years, though? Klopp factor is huge. That's a weird way to spell Klopp. Chat, are you want to... I'm not trying to be a grammatical... Isn't that a weird way to spell Klopp? Don't you think that's a bit of a... Doesn't it look weird as well? It just looks like it's a disease or something, like you've now got a blood clot or something. I don't know. I'm just saying. That's weird, isn't it? That's a bit strange. But yeah, Jurgen Klopp... sorry, I'm getting lost by the way that said. Who cares about 20 years? 20 years, 20 years. Exactly. And that's what I tried to raise, is that 20 years isn't the only factor. So it depends how Lavia sees it. So does he prioritize success or money? And it's not just those two. It could also be, does he prioritize the project, which in turn leads to more success? And I think that's exactly what's happening. I think the Lavia... that Lavia really wants Liverpool because of the project that's there, and that we're closer, and it's a more certain project than what Chelsea are building. James, thoughts on this? Liverpool prepare £42.8 million offer to sign 27-year-old Barcelona defender Andreas Christensen. I'm not against. I'm not hating that. I'm not hating that. I don't mind Christensen. I remember when he had a loan spell. I believe it was at Wolfsburg, weren't it, chat? And he was really, really good. And I remember him being one of the best Bundesliga centre-backs that season. And he definitely had good spells at Chelsea as well. So definitely don't dismiss this if this is any legit rumour to be thoughtful of. But yeah, I'd take Christensen. He's not the worst, and he's established to a massive degree. And I can imagine Klopp does like him. I believe we've been linked with him before. You know what I mean? Shout out to Joel. Big up to Drunk Vigo as well, by the way, who's always back on the stream and making me feel like a big deal. Big up to you, sir. That's not true at all. Christensen plays at Barca every day. Yeah, I didn't think it was true. I thought it was an interesting name that got brought out. I thought the price tag of 42.8 was interesting as well. So it was the first comment I read. I apologize. James, would you be happy if we did try and get Tomori? I'd love Tomori. Tomori's a great player, but chat, where is this just a hypothetical, James? What would you like? Oh, James, how would it feel to get Messi? Boss, it'd be amazing to get one of the best young English centre-backs around. However, we're not getting him. The only way we could is entice an AC Milan, who, to be fair, will probably be open to selling them with their financial things. I just don't see how. I don't see how we will find a mutual price that we're happy to pay and they're happy to sell. For, like I said, a top young prospect, a centre back. Give me Bastoni. Give me Ramos in his prime. Give me Ramos in his prime. My boy Redmond's back in action. No, baby. Boy, you know what I mean, chat. We're here and we're flying and we're profiling. But no, this Caicedo stuff really does interest me. If Lavia comes to Liverpool, what centre-back and centre-mid would you get? I'd probably go along the lines. Centre-back, I've always said, I don't really care. To be honest with you, chat, I haven't thought about this specifically too much. The way I analyse the window, right, if I just try and get that in focus because it's out of focus a bit. If I try and focus on the actual centre-back and centre-mid, I don't care. I care about players who we are definitively linked with. So when we were definitively and excessively linked with Thuram, when we were linked with Thuram, I have my eyes on Thuram and I have my eyes on Thuram clips. So not just good clips, but bad clips, and even watching some games. And then obviously when he played in the under-20 tournament, I was keeping my eye on him there as well because we were linked with him. The same with Lavia. Because we are linked, I will happily engage in watching the player to see how good he is, if he's good enough for us, and will he win us league titles. And then you've got to analyse how the deal's going to see if he's actually going to join. So, because we're not linked with a centre-back, I haven't really been looking at centre-backs who's, one, been good in recent time, two, good enough for the project that we want? You know, age and style of play. And, you know, I know that we're looking for a left footer. So is he left footed? At the top of my brain, also with the uncertainty of the system, I couldn't give you a name. But, you know, based on what I'm seeing, get me Lavia, get me a centre mid, and get me a centre back, and I'm a happy boy. But the one thing that would be devastating is if this Caicedo news was to be to be held with any substance or weight. That's a worrying thing. You know what I mean? Lavia is ours. No need to get worried, says the Liverpool era. So maybe that's true. Maybe we don't need to get worried. Chat. So shall we watch this farewell video? I'm not gonna lie, it kind of made me emotional. You know, chat. Do you know, like seeing how all the players were thinking? Shall we watch it, James? If you had the opportunity to play in a charity match, what would you play in, or what position? I'd go a Cam. If I could play as a number 10, I feel like I just get mostly involved and I like involvement. So, yeah, I'm a little workhorse, me, mate. I don't like that we're playing Chelsea first, especially because it's away. Who cares? Who cares? Listen, it could start the season off as a draw, which I get why that's a concern for you. I don't care. James, you need to school rants more often on football. Do you know what? He's my guy. He's my guy. And we have boss football and discussions. And you know what, chat? If you want to go and see the live stream we did after this, it was recorded just before on his channel. So feel free to have a look. Shall we watch this, chat? Do you want to? Do you want to watch this? Let's go. We'll watch it. Chat, I did get a bit emotional.
Hendo, it's a bit strange to think about this club without you.
Brian. Skipper, legend.
Hendo, Skip, Joe, I don't even know where to start.
Hendo, my friend. Well, goodbyes are not for me, definitely.
Hendo, just wanted to say a massive...
Nah, Trent actually looks depressed, you know, chat. Nah, like, this is somebody I only know. Have you ever been in a workplace and you had that one person in the workplace who was more than bearable? In fact, you might have even became friends. And then now when they leave the workplace, that's a very devastating thing, because in what was a very shit workplace, now the best person in the workplace is gone. This is the type of face and type of tone that I would reference for somebody who's feeling that way about Jordan Henderson. I'm not going to lie, chat. I think this has upset the squad. By the way, shout out to Gangan Deep. I'll read that super chat in a second.
Thank you, first and foremost, for everything, really. You were probably the player who welcomed me and helped me feel at home and at ease around other players and around the whole squad.
Since I arrived here, you opened your arms, received me as I was your little brother.
Since the minute I came in, you've looked after me, you know, giving me your house to rent at the start when, you know, I didn't know where to go, I didn't know what I needed and things like that.
You helped me a lot in the beginning, convinced me why I should join your team, so that was very helpful and a big part of why.
It's mad, that, isn't it, the way Virgil's admitting that Henderson had a huge influence on why he came to the team. Shows that Henderson was just more than, you know, the on the player or on the pitch player. You know what I'm saying? He was massive for the behind the scenes.
I wanted to come as well.
We played together 6 years. It was my pleasure to play with you. Everybody loves you here. What a great captain. What a great person you are.
The first time I came around the team, you know, I was young, I was immature. You put an arm around me and guided me well into a man.
Around me.
Now, thank you for being such a wonderful player, teaching me the ways of what it means to play for Liverpool.
Seeing your leadership in the pitch and off the pitch is like an inspiration for all of us.
What a player you are.
Hey, yo, chat, I didn't know that Besiktic's English was on point like that. Shout out to Besiktic. Pulling all the English girls, we love to see you.
Football club. What a captain you have been.
The Besiktic English Riz, you know what I mean, chat?
For me, for the rest of the boys.
Had an unbelievable time together. We shared so many good moments, and you were always there for everybody.
The thing that sticks out the most for me about you, about my time at Liverpool, was the season we won the Premier League, how focused you were. You just got in a groove and we kind of went off your energy. And you made sure that we all achieved our dreams and we all achieved the dreams of the fans of bringing the Premier League eventually to Liverpool.
Super Cup, you were the first one that you opened the arms.
When I scored the penalty, you celebrate like a small kid, like you didn't won any other trophy in your career.
We were not in a good place as a team, and one day you held a speech. At that moment, I really thought like, yeah, you are the real skipper of the team.
Even if I will miss your shouts next to me, I'm really grateful to spend the time with you on the pitch and off the pitch.
If I was on your team in 5 sides, I knew that I had to be at it that day, because if I wasn't, then you'd let me know and you'd let the other lads know as well.
No matter whether I was a young boy or I'd grown into a man, you were always the one I wanted to impress.
I'm going to miss you, and what you've left behind is a massive hole, but it's one that we'll try and put together again, because...
How the fuck have you just got Tom Little and Stefan Bajcetic in a combination? That's the gist, though, chat.
No, that's the way you would have done it.
Obviously,
Woo! Chat, did anyone else nearly cry? Do you know when Van Dijk nearly cries, you need to nearly cry, because we're all bitches.
through many things, and obviously we're gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss you.
I don't know exactly what to say, but we're gonna miss you a lot. Everybody in the team is gonna miss you.
I hear the word captain, and automatically you're the person that springs to mind. So thank you for everything, Skip.
Nah, Trent looks fucking devil. Chat, listen, yeah. Nah. Chat, I'm having second thought, you know. Nah. That was a beautiful video. It was a nice message. There always has to be a restart at any point, so I don't want to be hearing anybody saying like, "Oh my God, look how important Henderson was." Again, if we wanted someone to be a cheerleader and an off the pitch presence, then you can use them as a different role. As a footballer, he needed to go. But wow, that was moving, and that was certainly much better than the video that Jordan Henderson did, which was the video about him leaving. I'm not gonna lie, that was class, and it does show the transparency of him and the players, so that was quite cool. Shout out to Gangan Deep. He says Lavia is a good player, but not comfortable with a project player for a vital position on the pitch. Only makes sense to buy Lavia is if Fabinho stays, to bed him in gradually. He's not ready to help us compete. I agree, he's not ready to help us compete, but then the version of Fabinho that we've been getting is also not a competing Fabinho. The 18 months, or the recent 18 months that we've seen of Fabinho, he's looked slower, and he's looked just worse and worse game by game. He's had decent spells, but the physical deterioration is still noticeable. And because of that physical deterioration, I think it's more beneficial now for somebody who could be that player to come in than Thingo. But I know what you're saying. You're saying Lavia by himself, not ready. But if we also believe Fabinho might not be thingy, and context matters, we've just got a £40 million offer for Fabinho, then we need to try something new. So I think Lavia, if we get Lavia this season, that massively benefits our team more than if Fabinho stayed. Chat, is that a W or an L? Because I feel like that's a controversial one that I probably need to explain a little bit more. What's good, Hamez? Sorry, being away. It was my birthday yesterday. Shout out to Shane. Shout out for you spending some of your birthday money on me, sir. I appreciate it. I hope the family's well. I hope the little ones well, as always. And no worries, I haven't been here for a few days, Shane, so don't you dare apologise. Don't you dare apologise. I hope you had a great day, and wishing you all the best, and thank you for that super chat as well. You know what I mean? Are you saying W? Are you saying W? I thought that might have been a little bit of a thing. Lavia's body started breaking down last season, like Bajcetic. We need another midfielder for sure, else we are fucked. Yes. See, we can't just... If Lavia comes in and we've let go of both Fabinho and Henderson, and we was going to get Lavia anyway, that matters. The reason why that matters is because we were going to get one, and now we've got less. We cannot ignore an additional midfielder. Now, just because we're not linked with one, I don't think that means we won't definitely get one. But then, as happy as I will be to get two midfielders if we get it done, I will be just as devastated if we don't get a centre-back done. So I would prefer one centre-mid and one midfielder. And if Lavia just so happened to be that centre-mid, I think that is more beneficial than just the no centre-back coming at all. Because, chat, we've got a problem with the defensive issue. I was on stream at Rants before, and I knew it anyway, but it's really bad. Like, when you talk about it out loud, it's just not great. So that's why we really need to accommodate that position. If we don't, we're kind of fucked. Shout out to Amit. He says Frank Kessie would be a good option. Nah, high wages. He's at Barcelona, so I'm sure he probably thinks he's the Billy Big. But I don't know. I'm sure he's a decent player, but he's not what I'm looking for. Big up, James. That brought tears to my eyes. Good on you, Hendo Nino. Hendo Nino, guys, listen. We can say what he is now, and we can combat the Hendo-sexuals when they say you're not a fan because you want Henderson to leave. But then it creates a battle of, okay, well, now I'm on a position where I'm opposing Henderson. So it's not because I don't like Henderson. It's just because we disagree on this particular point regarding this player. But no, Jordan Henderson's a certified legend. That video made me sad. You know, you've got to remember, chat, like, he is the guy who was a part of the most dominant Liverpool team that I've ever seen in my life. So respect has certainly got to be given. Lavia is at the second most possessions won by any under-21s, behind Caicedo and ahead of Bellingham. Yeah, I mean, Bellingham and Caicedo, are they the bar for a league-winning midfielder? I don't think so. Maybe Bellingham, but Caicedo, I don't know if he is quite yet. Yeah, it's a nice stat. It's a nice stat to work with. But I like the player, you know what I mean? I like the player and what he brings and what he offers. Have you seen the Klopp video on Henderson? I have. I have seen bits, I'm not going to lie. Jurgen Klopp's great with those little speeches and, you know, monologues that he gives to players, Ryan. He's always emotional. He knows the right things to say, doesn't he? James Redmond is the #1 Liverpool fan media space. We need to work on it. We need to work on it. But the potential's there, and let's maximise the potential, chat. You know what I mean? Let's keep it growing. Let's keep subscribing. We've got 400 people in the stream. Let's keep it fucking booming. By the way, big up to the fact that we've already had 3 super chats in the stream. Just know, they do always get read out, but that's not why you should send it. If you want to support in any way, smash a like on the stream. But anyone who does financially support, thank you so much. Can't thank you enough. You let me do this full time. You fucking beautiful people. Vinicius Jr., fuck you! Fuck you! If you want to sign for us, then I'll take it back. But no, until then, fuck you. Shout out to Bobby Munchkins. Hi, James. After getting Lavia, should we get midfielders for Brazil? From Brazil, Argentina? No, not like anyone thingy, because I don't know anyone from there. If there's anyone young, promising that you can maybe catch for 5 to 10 million, and you think there's promise and they can be a little stopgap signing, like the way Dominic Solanke was, for instance, then yeah, you can do that. You can do that. And then if they just end up being good enough, then great. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I wouldn't jump on it. I certainly, it wouldn't be something I'd go out the way and do, you know what I mean? Right, when will we know when Lavia bid is accepted? When Southampton decide to accept it. So, I mean, it could be accepted right now and we don't know about it, but I don't think it's accepted right now. I think it's being evaluated, it's being assessed. But the bid is on the table, and it's of £45 million. Here now, it's just a case of, okay, if Liverpool can get this in a package, so if we're paying 42 million up front and the rest are add-ons, or if we're doing 42 million up front and then over the next few seasons we give you the rest of it, you know, it's just about really sorting out the logistics of it all. I'm very confident in saying this signing's going to get over the line. So it's not a case of is Lavia good enough for us? Now it's a case of how do we fit Lavia in? Because I think he's done. I think it's as close to done without being done. You know what I mean? I don't think Chelsea are going to come in and swoop him. I don't think he would choose Chelsea over us anyway. I don't think he's getting the guaranteed game time at Chelsea as what he is at us. I think the only thing that incentivizes him is money. Otherwise, I don't think, and I also don't think Todd Bowley would be willing to increase his wage budget that much, or sorry, his the wage cap of the team to accommodate a 19-year-old CDM. You know, because we're not breaking our wage budget to get Lavia. If they're getting Lavia and Lavia chooses Chelsea over us, you like to think it's because of money, because they haven't got that European football prospect. So that's why I'd say, okay, he's probably going to choose us, and he's probably not going to get offered much more there. So I think he's going to join. So now it's about, you know, what do we do to actually fit him in there? You know what I mean? That's the question that we should be asking. Can't believe the price of Caicedo in comparison with Lavia in the last 15. Oh, sorry, with Lavia. He's played 15 more Premier League games and can see Chelsea sniffing at Lavia. Adam, what are you saying there? Can't believe the price. Oh, yeah, the Caicedo thing is wild. He's a good player. He's got good attributes. I think he can be a great CDM and a great number 6, but I do certainly have my questions on the whole price tag on, because 100 million, 50 million for Lavia is like 20 million for Jordan Henderson back in the day. Chat, is that a W or an L? Do you remember when we sat? I think Jordan Henderson was 16 million actually. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, let's round it up to 20 if I'm right. 20 million for Jordan Henderson. That's kind of like 50 million for Lavia when you think about inflation and when you think about how it all correlates, you know what I mean? What do you think about that? Do you think that's a poor example? But I'm just thinking of inflation. 50 million for a CDM who's unproven is not great. 50 million in this market, now that we've included the context of the market that we're in, it's actually not that bad. You know what I'm saying? So 50 million sounds atrocious, but then now you know that that's the going rate, you know, for a top class CDM, and everybody knows we need a CDM. So really, it's a case of, do we go and get this guy who's favoured? Because really, chat, this is what we're saying. I don't think it's a case of we had any other options that we want. We've got to get somebody who's homegrown, and Klopp is a huge fan of this player. So I think he's the number one priority anyway, who just so happens to fit the mold of being a homegrown player. So that's why I'll sit there and say, okay, I think this dude is the dude that we should get, because I like the look of him. You might not like the look of him, but that's not what I hear. I don't see anyone coming to me saying, oh, James, Lavia is shit, Lavia is this, Lavia is not good enough. I see the age comparison. And the same people using the age comparison are the same people who were twerking for Jude Bellingham. 18 years of age, Jude Bellingham. I even saw people saying, Joe Bellingham. So that wasn't, who's now fucking Sunderland for 3 million. And that was the solution. No, I'm messing. But seriously, though, I do think that Lavia, in the modern day, I think it's a fine deal. I don't think it's as bad as people are making out. That's just the going rate. If FSG can't compete with the going rate, then FSG needs to fuck off. If the inflation is going too much and they can't match the inflation, or the club isn't growing financially with inflation, then yeah, we're fucked. They need to go if that's the case. James, I remember when Liverpool fans was crying that they don't want Henderson and he's not worth 20 mil. James Bonds, I need to understand the premise. I remember when Liverpool fans was crying that they don't want Henderson and he's not worth 20 mil. And then look, oh, do you mean when we signed him? Okay. The comparison wasn't to say Lavia is the next Jordan Henderson. The comparison was to say 16 million was too much for Jordan Henderson, and then they're saying the same thing with Lavia. But if you're agreeing with me, then, you know, it worked out for Henderson in the end. You know what I mean? It worked out for Henderson. So, listen, it could work out for Lavia. You know what I mean? James Redmond is going to make you famous. I am a famous dude. Why? What did Ukas say? Where's Ukas? Let's have a gander. Stop waffling and answer. Cannon Roberts question, you mug. So wait there, Ukas. Right, so you're asking me to answer another person's question. Are you talking to me, or are you being a bellend? I think you're being a bellend. I think out of this altercation that we've seen so far, you can't comprehend facts, and therefore you decided to use the term stop waffling, in turn making you a bellend. Now, you've asked me to read a gentleman's comment called Cannon. Where the fuck's Cannon? Chat, where's Cannon? Cannon, do you want to repeat your comment? Do you want to repeat your comment, or what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Or is Ukas just staying a bitch? You know, nah, it's all right, Ukas. If you were being a bitch, it's fine. James, why are you not answered? What, chat? What one have I not answered? Chat, don't act like I'm trying to run away from a question. I didn't know there was a question to run away from. So how about we insert the question that James has ran away from, so I can put you fools in your place? Right, yeah, there's Cannon. Cannon. The fuck do you want, Cannon? Do you know how much shit you're causing right now? You're causing a fucking divide between me and the chat. So what's going on? James, look at Saka. Who the fuck's that? Satcha Toilet tweet talks about why Lavia choosing Liverpool over Chelsea. Okay, we'll let me start that. I need to establish what this question is. By the way, smash a like. We've got 400 people in the stream. I think Cannon got fired. Who's Cannon? Why are we talking about Cannons for? It is actually Cannon's fault. He's causing shit. Sorry, calm down. I'll calm down. I'm sorry. I'm getting a bit angry. Why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Apologies. Okay, so now you're apologising. I don't even know why you're apologising, but chat, do you know what you do to me? You blow me fucking brain cells off. That's what you do to me. Anyway, shout out to my man like Perez, who says, go and check out Sakatella. Who's that guy? Is he a reliable dude, chat? Is the reference here a reliable dude? Let me just double check who you're asking me to look. Sacha Taloveri. Sacha Taloveri. While I'm doing that, chat, let's get those likes up. Talov. Oh, Talov. Really? I can't find that dude, fam. Did he spell his name wrong, chat? Right there. Sacha Taloveri is a Belgian journo. He is reliable. He's reliable. Okay, then we'll take a look at it. Sacha Taloveri. I've typed in his name though, chat, and I can't fucking find him. Let me just show you guys what I'm seeing, and then tell me where I'm going wrong, because I don't know what I've done wrong here, chat. I want to look at this dude. But yeah, I don't think he's going to Chelsea myself, and this is before even looking at this. This is what journalists do, chat. They just read the room. See, chat, haven't I spelled his name right? Sacha Taloveri. Why can't I find him? Oh no, I've put Sacha. Sorry. Dyslexia coming through there. And he's still not there. What the fuck? Tavo Leary. Is that it? Talo. This guy. Or have I just spelt his... No, I've spelt his name wrong again. Chat, I need to get a... Do you know, like an editor who can do all this shit for me and find all the sources for me? Chat, I can't find it. Either way, if this dude is saying that he's coming to us opposed to Chelsea, then that's great, because that's just more confirmation. If he's reliable, even better. But yeah, I couldn't find him, chat. I tried. You know what I mean? And if he's confirming what I've already spoke about, which is the stuff, then yeah. The journalism's easy, chat. You just need to just read the room, assess everything, and yeah. But I don't think Caicedo is going to be it's going to be an issue in regards to us getting Lavia. I just don't see it being the case, especially even if they can't get him. I just don't see why that impacts the Lavia deal, because then that means Lavia wants to go to Chelsea, and it doesn't seem like he's interested in that right now. But it has been clear, based on reliable sources and people close to Lavia, that he wants to join us. So that's something to take into consideration, by the way. Jude is completely different. He led Dortmund to Champions League and then League, and he's been there for 3 years. Lavia has just played the whole season. I hear what you're saying, but I think you've missed it. It went over your head. So it's fine if you want to say Bellingham is better than Lavia. That's not the argument that I ever raised. I am just saying, if your sole reason for wanting a player or not wanting a player is age, then why did you want Jude Bellingham? Because even if he's great for Dortmund, if your only problem is age, then you still shouldn't want a young player, you know, because you're saying age is the issue. So if it's not performance, if it's not potential, and it's not the player himself, but it's the age, then that makes these two situations actually a very good comparison instead of a false paradigm, which is I'm assuming you're assuming is what I'm saying. So I never said that Lavia was better than Jude Festus. I simply said that they were the same age, and that age shouldn't be your sole factor on whether or not you want a player. Love you, bro, from India, by the way. Will you be... Oh, wait there. What will be our front three next season? I've always said Gakpo, Salah, and Jota, or Diaz. Or it will be Diaz on the left, Gakpo and Jota in the middle. That's the way I think of it. James, do you believe the trio of Matip, Gomez, and Adrian belong in the meat grinder? I think belongs in much worse than that. I think we need more than a meat grinder to get rid of that combination. Yeah, that's a pretty shitty combo, dude. Think people are arguing age for Lavia rather experience. 50 mil for 1 season, and we are expecting him to replace an experienced Fabinho. Okay, so experience. Steven Gerrard has experience, but of course he's not a player no more. Why? Because he's not a player. He's old. You know what I mean? Fabinho and Henderson is extreme to compare to Steven Gerrard. But what I'm simply saying, the version that I am now, me, James, is a different version to 17-year-old Hamez 5 years ago. Now, that sounds like a very Michael Owen statement, but what you're using the premise is Fabinho on his best day, and that experience of Fabinho being the best, which he's not no more, in comparison to Lavia, who's being identified as a top talent, has just had one great season in comparison to Fabinho's really, really poor shit season. And we're saying we don't want this player because of the experience. Well, if we kept Fabinho, yet we've got experience, but now it's false experience, because if that experience is going to play, he might play shit. So, okay, I could have experience, but then I might have a bit too much experience. I might overcomplicate my experience. And then that leads to a bigger detriment in the team. Whereas Lavia, he's got great attributes, which is the first thing we need to assess when we sign a defensive midfielder. The attributes. Is he good on the ball? Can he read the game well off the ball? I answer yes to both of those two questions. So therefore, £50 million for a player who is great in those two departments, and this said player is 19 years of age, and this said player was one of the top players, because people seem to think that he only existed at Southampton. Don't forget, he was in one of the best academies. Sorry, let me reiterate. The best academy in the world in Manchester City. By the way, that's not even up for a debate. Not a debate at all. Okay? Man City's the best by far, and he was there. Before that, he was one of the top, if not the top prospect in that position in Belgium coming through the Anderlecht system. So, chat, we've got to analyse who we're talking about here. This is one of the top dudes from his country. This is then one of the top dudes in the City Academy. And then now he's a top dude at Southampton. So what that tells me, okay, he has one Premier League year of experience. But then it also tells me he's came right into the Premier League and settled in straight away. Like an experienced veteran would. He came into the Premier League. Okay, his team was so shit and got relegated, yet he was still a standout. That matters. It matters that he's 19. He came into a Southampton team, done really well. And then the resume, it's not like a dude who's been playing Sunday League football and then we've just signed some random 19-year-old because he's got good attributes in Sunday League. We've signed a top-class prospect, great at Anderlecht, one of the top young players, then joins Man City, personally identified by Pep Guardiola, and then now personally identified by Jurgen Klopp. And yes, it's for 50 million, but then we've just mentioned inflation. So you can say to me 1 year experience for a 19-year-old. I can say to you it took him 1 season to adapt to the Premier League in the worst team in the Premier League. Chat, is that a W or an L? I think that was bars. I don't think you can fuck with me no more, chat. Lavia will be a better signing than whoever gets Moises Caicedo. The pressing system suits Romeo very well, so looks like a top prospect. However, do we then not get a new right back? That's the thing. The problem isn't Lavia. In my opinion, I like Lavia. I'm a fan of Lavia. My problem arises when you talk about these external positions, right back, centre back, all the other positions that are absolutely necessary. If we do not address these, then we just get a bunch of more games like what we got against Faith. Faith, you know what I mean? Like, we can't be doing the situation where if Van Dijk's injured, you've got Gomez to fill in his place. That's a problem. That's a huge problematic issue that needs to be addressed. So, okay, Lavia by himself, good. Now that we've established this, we need to cover the other holes. Hi, James, because now if we say Lavia's going to win us the league, that's a bit of a problem. The same way me saying, is Nunez going to win us a league last season, ended up being a problem because no matter how good Nunez was or wasn't, we weren't going to do nothing on the overall team because we had so much shit around it. The same with Lavia. If Lavia comes in and we've still got a shit defence, that's not a Lavia problem, that's a defence problem. So let's not let that get in the way. Hey, James, what are your thoughts on signing Colwill or Inacio? Fan of both. Wish we could get one. Doesn't seem like we're going to go in for Inacio. And the Colwill situation seems to be completely shut off. But shout out to you, Ben. Douglas Luiz, I see you mentioned there as well. What if we went for Everton's Onana? I don't think we get Everton players. I'm not going to lie to you, Ben. Onana, I've never seen a player go from Liverpool. I've never seen a player come from Everton to Liverpool, at least in the first team system. I'm not disputing we've never signed an academy product or anything, but yeah. Is that a concern? Oh, it's a big concern. What's a concern? Oh, and I've missed the super chat. I apologise. I want to shout out to Ed Rin, my G. Thank you for the financial support, sir. He says, James sent you a link for Saka on ATM Instagram. Thank you, my friend. Can you send it on a Twitter DM by any chance? Sorry, chat. I just got... That's funny. Okay. My head just went off there, chat. Sorry, I just got a text message. No, I can solve that in a bit. It doesn't even... Do you know what, Sid? I appreciate it. I'll believe the link in rumour. I appreciate the super chat as well. You can send it to me on Twitter if you want, and we can sort that. Sorry, chat. Bear with me. Let me just reply to this text there quick. Otherwise, I might cause up a little bit of a fuss if I don't. Right. Sorry, chat. Just my head's gone, mate. My head's absolutely gone, bro. Psychedelic, Hamez, how much pounds to feature on a song, one verse? Are you talking to me? So are you asking me how much money do I need to be on one verse of your song? Chat, what am I charging? I need you guys to be my lawyers right now. If you guys aren't my lawyers, then that's an issue. By the way, smash those likes. So do you know Snoop Dogg, the way he charges like 400 grand? Okay, so if that's the metric for one verse for Snoop Dogg, what's the metric for Hamez? You know? 10 grand. Do you reckon 10 G's, chat? Yeah. Do you reckon 10 G's? Now we're talking. Now this is the Arab money. This is the Arab money. So if you do happen to have a sheikh in your family, say, to whom was asking, if you have a sheikh, then give me money. Give me this. If you are a local dude from Bootle, then I'll take 5 G's. 5 G's, and that can be the base. $1 million, little Austin Power reference right there for y'all. You know what I'm saying, chat? You know what I'm saying, bro? You know what we're leading to right now, man? Where the frick is my Twitter gone? Where the frick is my Twitter? Chat, ever since I became a Christian, I've been trying to swear less, That's why I'll say things like frick and flume, but I always swear. But then I'll have periods, like half-an-hour periods, where I'll say the F word about 5 times. So don't try and say, oh, James, you don't try and stop swearing because I saw you yesterday swear 5 fucking times. And I've just sworn it. This is what I mean. There's something not mentally intact over in Hamez land, but we keep it moving. Yeah, why is Thiago trending? Why the fuck's he trending, mate? He's okay, so the match day squad thing, because him and Bashetic is both injured, aren't they? They're both injured. A Bluey, lads. Someone just said a Bluey. I've been to watch Liverpool about 15 times and never seen them lose. That's huge. That's a big deal. Psychedelic thingy. You know what I mean? That's a big deal, dude. So try and get some more games, I think, is the solution. You know what I mean? James, I can call out Jake Paul. Would you batter him? Wait there, James. I say you call out Jake Paul, you will batter him. Chat, do you think I fuck up Jake Paul? Do you think I fuck up Jake Paul? Because I'm not going to lie, chat, I've got a little bit of form, Like, if I just... Chat, I can get in. I can get stuck in. I'm just saying, I might fuck someone up. Do you think I should fight Jake Paul? Think that's a shout? James? Oh, yeah, I've just read that one. James Redmond should be as big as Goldbridge. I don't know, shoulda, woulda, coulda. We'll earn it with time, hopefully. He's put years and years of graft. I've got to put years and years of graft in, and I've got to do it consistently. And then hopefully one day we might even be able to surpass Goldbridge. But until then, at least he's shown how big you can get in this scene, and I can use that as something to work off. Like, okay, if he's got to here, well then, if he got to here, that was impossible when he started. So where can I take this? So that's the way I'm thinking. Goldbridge is needed in this scene. He's huge. Do you think the farewell video from Hendo was genuine? Seems a bit scripted. The Henderson one directly, I like the one Liverpool done. That one was nice. Trent looked like he was going to fucking cry. But the one from Henderson, yeah, I weren't a fan of that one. If you watch my reaction to it yesterday, you'll see that I was a little bit unsure about it. I was trying not to be harsh or try and be upset at him for anything, because I'm not upset that he's left. But I was a little bit in 2 minds, so to speak, regarding whether or not it was from him or whether it was from a PR agency. By the way, chat, it's saying my Wi-Fi is going in and out. Let me know if that's all good. Let me actually just shut down a couple of apps on my phone. Maybe that could be a contributor to why it's lagging in and out. Bless you, James. You're very humble. Do you know what it is? I am eager to improve, and humility is one way to keep your lens clear on what you need to do to improve. If you're not humble, if you don't have humility, this is biblical, by the way, what I'm telling you. This is what my Lord has taught me. My Lord's taught me that humility is key. And in all circumstances, if you remain humble, trust me, the lens will be so much more clear and you'll get so much more out of those conversations if you are humble. So I like to try and be as humble as possible, but even I fall short of that standard many occasions. So I appreciate it, Esther. You're a G. Big up to you. Hey, Romeo Lavia is watching you now, James. Well, shout out to Romeo. Romeo, if you're watching this video, G, invite me to the first Liverpool gaff. I'll show you around some. You know what I mean? Hi, James. Worth watching James Lawrence Alcott's video on YouTube. He's a great YouTuber. I really like the how dynamic he is and how versatile. I'd recommend anybody here to go and watch him as well. Video on why he thinks Nunez will get 20 goals this season. Interested to hear your thoughts after watching it. Can watch it with the chat. That could be a good shout. I mean, I don't know if he copyright me or anything. That being said, I might even watch a little bit of the video. And I think Nunez can get 20 goals, but the reason why I don't think he will is because I don't think he's going to start enough games. I think Jota and Diaz will be the main front three type idea. But then I do think Klopp's trying to get Nunez in the team. So no Nunez slander. I'm just simply saying I don't know if he gets in my best front three, which I think is a less controversial take or a less controversial opinion before all the Nunez dick riders get onto me. And I've never disputed Nunez can't get 20 goals. In fact, I said he could get 20 goals last year. But will those 20 goals now take away from your overall team? Example, when you get that main outlet, if it takes away from the overall team and doesn't enhance the performance like the way Firmino would enhance performances, then that could be a problem. However, now, because we've got a more creative midfield with Szoboszlai and McAllister, I trust Nunez more as an outlet because now we've got more creative players to not only provide him goals, but now we can get goals from the midfield itself, which is huge. But yeah, I don't know if he'll get the game time this season. I think Jota's going to be the main outlet, to be honest. James, meant to say before, mate, did you see that Liverpool signed that 14-year-old from Wolves for 1 million? No, what's his name? Is he good? 14 is unpredictable, you know what I mean? You kind of just hoping they've got technical ability at that age, and if they haven't, then yeah, that could be an issue. But if he's a good player, very nice. That's what we want. That is what we want, chat. That is what we want indeed. Saying that my Wi-Fi is really bad, chat. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Or is it getting really bad? I'm wrapping up in a minute anyway. But who do we need in midfielder? We talked about that one. Sorry, Oshin. Is it Oisin or Oshin? I'm not too sure. Good to see you, mate. Sorry. Good to see you getting more religious. I've been thinking about getting more into Christianity as a current atheist. I would encourage it, sir. I would encourage it. First of all, you have to say what it is that you believe in. So what is it that you believe in? So as an atheist, do you believe that nothing collided with nothing and created everything that we saw? And then once you've identified what you believe in, you've now got to sit there and say, what is the evidence to support what I am believing? So my journey going into this is the last thing I'll touch on. You can feel free to leave. We're done with all the football. Smash a like on your way out, please. Chat, and Jesus loves you. But me, when I became a Christian, or I was becoming a Christian, I didn't want to do it blindly. And God encourages this. He says, ask questions, seek, knock, and you shall find, and all that stuff. And that's important. That's important to note, because when I started, I was thinking, okay, then, well, I need to identify the evidence to support the claim. So the second that I realized, okay, Jesus 100% existed, that's a fact. He's identified in multiple religions, and then he 100% risen from the dead. Now I'm sitting there thinking, okay, then, well, that means something. There's a premise to that, Now we've got to think about this Jesus dude in a little bit more higher faction, and then that's what led me to be a Christian. So I'm not saying that for you to change your mind on that premise, but you need to identify what you're believing in, and then the evidence to support what you're believing in. And the second you get the evidence, so if you believe in the Darwin theory, well, what's the reference and what's the reliability behind said theory? And does said theory make sense? And if it does make more sense than there being a creator in what is such a precise universe, then I think that's good. But we're not here to talk about religious stuff. I'm just simply encouraging people who are looking to become more spiritual. That's the way I do it. I like to try and see where the evidence comes from, But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. If you can smash a like, that's grand. And I love every single one of you. People who believe in all different things. Listen, this is a family for multiple cultures, multiple beliefs. And it's supposed to be a loving platform where I love you, you love me, but I love you more. And I love it. It's boss. And we see so many Muslims coming into the chat. We see Christians, atheists. But the main thing is we have a common love, which is football. It's what brings us together, chat. We should embrace that. We should love that. We should engage in that. But I am going to leave it there. I do love every single one of you. I'm glad to be back doing the streams. And smash a like on your way out. And if the video's done, if you're a JRTV OG, then you're going to leave a comment, and you'll know that helps the algorithm, because I've asked you plenty of time before. Shout out to Wisdom. Shout out to Amit. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Danielle. Shout out to Panascouse. Wait there. Shout out to Anisha. Shout out to Harris. Shout out to Carnivorous Carl. Shout out to everyone. Leave a comment. Much love to you and your mothers, and I'll see you all